think it's no different than just general population. Black people are not a monolith. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a huge mischaracterization of African Americans as a whole. But then even as judges, we're not a monolith. I'm sure there's the same people. They're gonna spotlight certain things, right? A lot of times people spotlight oddities or things, clickbait, what have you. So yeah, it always makes the news and media. But there's even here in Harris County, there's I would say countless African American judges. I'm sure if you go to most of their courts, they're just down the middle. You always get outliers on both sides. That wasn't my thing. It was all about, hey, what are the rules? Let's follow the rules. Go back, make sure I'm following the elements, and then whatever the elements say, that's the way I go. I follow the law.
Yeah. Have you ever followed the law, thought you did the right thing, and you made a wrong judgment on a defendant, and you wanted to take that back? Like, man, I think I got that wrong.
No, I never felt like that. I've seen some times where I thought like we'd have a whole trial, and there was one time I saw a gentleman. They found him guilty. I didn't think they were gonna find him guilty, but when they found him guilty, everybody's kind of shocked. When you have to respect the ruling of the jury. But I think that's another thing that's at play though. I think a lot of folks when they watch TV, they think the judges are making all the rulings. Probably my wife said this when she was on here running for DA. The most powerful person in the criminal system
is the jury.
The jury, when you get to trial, before the trial, the DA.
Right.
The DA makes those decisions to accept the case, get rid of the case. Judge doesn't necessarily do that. I sign a dismissal, but they have to present the dismissal. And then when you make that decision, if you go to a jury trial, those 12 people, they make the decision. I put my hands up. All I do is give them the jury charge. They make the decision. So I think there's power there, but you're more of an umpire. You're not supposed to take an active role. Like there's a lot of folks in Texas try to say, we had activist judges when they see something they don't like, they try to suddenly call you activist. Well, ultimately, it's the jury making that decision.
Mm-hmm. But there are judges out there because we're all humans and we come with our own set of implicit biases, right?
Most definitely.
And so when that happens, for example, like when a verdict came back that you were like shocked, especially if you thought somebody was innocent, they was found guilty. Did you find yourself?
Well, I'm not going to use the word innocent. I'm going to say guilty, not guilty. Like elements. I'm an elements-based guy. So, like, none of us are innocent. Let's be honest. If you're biblical, you realize none of us are innocent. Now, guilty is like,
what about the innocent of the crime? Are some of us innocent of a crime?
Guilty, not guilty. There's a difference. There's a serious difference. Okay. Guilty is, let's say there's three elements. The elements are
I see where
bald head, shirt, tan jeans, right? If one of them elements are missing, you're not guilty. Now, doesn't mean you're innocent. It means you're not guilty. So it's element based. You know what I'm saying? Even in the jury charge at the end, it says guilty or not guilty. It doesn't say guilty or innocent. Now they that's the legal, it's the legalese, but technically if you don't meet those elements, you're either guilty or not guilty. You have to hit all the elements. So they'll say stuff at the beginning of a trial like, hey, let's say one of the elements that had to be in Harris County. We don't prove to you it's in Harris County. Would you still find the person guilty? And some people are like, yeah, I still find them guilty. They're like, but we haven't shown you the element. And they're like, those people, they have to get off the jury, right? Because they're showing they can't follow the law. So it's a difference technically between guilty and innocent.
Yeah. But when they are found guilty, what makes a judge decide to give somebody 599 years?
So I never gave anyone 599 years.
What's the most time you ever gave somebody?
It might be over 45 years.
And what was the crime?
Well, on that one, they actually negotiated that one between the state and defense. Someone had essentially chopped up a body, killed the person, chopped the body up, and they had an agreement, and I went with the state's recommendation.
Oh, hell yeah. See, when somebody does something like that, man, that's a particular type of evil, man. We gotta get them out of here.
It was a lot. It was a lot to the story.
That's an uncivilized mutt.
Yeah. She wound up getting 45 years. That's what I'll say. I won't get too far into that, but she wound up getting 45 years. The part about
a woman chopped up a body?
Yes, it was in the news. I guess there was some allegation about maybe some type of abuse, what have you. But she wound up getting 45 years. The thing that I was most concerned about, just as a father, was her daughter was, I guess, in a mix of present. I think she was young, like maybe under the age of 10, and I think she was in the apartment or wherever where it had happened, where the chopping had occurred. And you know, I went off the record real quick just to ask, cause I was curious, and I think, you know, we do. She's a child, right? I'm like, what happened with the daughter? And you know, now you got someone going to foster care, things of that nature. But yeah, I remember the 45 years.